Vasha Tatratara Pochi Achegora Chan Ratna Simasane Pochi Achegora Chan Ratna Simasane Arati Korinna Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Korinna Brahma Adi Devagane Narari Ari Kori Chamaradulaya Narari Ari Kori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosarigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosarigaya Baji Ganta Baji Baji Karatala Shanka Baji Ganta Baji Baji Karatala Madhuran Mandanga Baji Paramarasala Madhuran Mandanga Baji Paramarasala Bahu Khatri Chandra Jini Varanarvala Bahu Khatri Chandra Jini Varanarvala Gala Deshe Banamala Koridamala Gala Deshe Banamala Koridamala Shiva Sukhanarada Preme Gara Gara Shiva Sukhanarada Preme Gara Gara Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Sampara Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Sampara Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ite Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Sunyavari Prasatasta Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Charan Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotarashata Shishimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotarashata Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Pralada lada daine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Shilatanka Nakalaye Ito Nrasingha Parato Nrasingha Yato Yami Tato Nrasingha Bahi Nrasingha Hridaye Nrasingha Nrasingamadim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Tava karakamalavare nahakam adbhuta shringam Dalita hiranyakashipur tanubringam keshavadrita narahari rupa jai jagadish hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Haribo Lord Nrsimhadev ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshorunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanha Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindan Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchya Kapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. We'll now begin reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is, the Sri Gita Upanishad. Which verse will we be starting with tonight? Chapter 3? Chapter 4? Text 5? Wow. These are purports of epic proportion. That's great. So we'll read 11 verses together in unison, as well as the transliteration and translation. Text 5. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahunhe me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna Tanyaham Veda Sarvani Natvam Veda Parantapa. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Text 6. Ajopi san navyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritam swamadishtaya sambhavam yatmamayaya. Translation. Although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Text 7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhutanham adharmasya tadhatmanham srijamyaham. Translation. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Text 8. Paritranaya sadhunam vinhashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Translation. In order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion, I invent myself millennium after millennium. Text 9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktya tyaktva deham punhar janma naiti mam heti so Arjuna. Translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Chapter 4, text 10. Vitaraga vayakrodha manmaya mamupashrita bhavo jnana tapasa uta madbhavam agataha. Translation. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Text 11. Jeyatam ham prapadyante tams tataiva pajamyaham amavartmanu vartante manusya partha sarvashaha. Translation. All of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Text 12. Kangshata kakshanta karmanham siddhim yajanta hi hadevataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Translation. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. Text 13. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam guna karma vipakashaha tasya kartaram abhimham vidya kartaram avyayam. Translation. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me, and although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Text 14. Namham karmani lampanti namhe karma pale spriha itimham yo vijanati karma bhirna sabhadyate. Translation. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Text 15. Evam gyatva kritam karma purvair api mamukshavihi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvatarham kritam. Translation. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. That's 11, right? Okay. That last verse, I'm not familiar with text 15, but it reminds me of, there's a quote on the back of Bhagavad Gita, as it is. I don't know if it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson or Henry David Thoreau, but one of them talks about the ancients, and that's what this last verse reminds me of. My book is too old. It's been weathered, so I can't read it on the back. But oh, it's not on these? Or Yeah, it must be on the paper back then. Anyway, we can now read the translation and purport given to us by Srila Prabhupada. Translation of Chapter 4, Text 5. This chapter is entitled Transcendental Knowledge. The translation says, "The Blessed Lord said, 'Many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy.'" Purport. In the Brahma Samhita, we have information of many, many incarnations of the Lord. It is stated there, Advaitam Achutam Anhadim Anantarupam Adhyam Purana Purusham Havayauvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Hatma Bhaktau Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Vajami. Quote, Brahma Samhita 533. Quote, "I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning, although expanded into unlimited forms, still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing forms of the Lord are usually understood by the best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. It is also stated in the Brahma Samhita, Ramhari Martishu Kalhaniyam Hena Tishtan Nanha Vataram Akaro Bhavanheshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhavat Paramapumhanyo Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Vajami. Brahma Samhita 539. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, Krishna, who is always situated in various incarnations such as Ram, Nrsimha, and many sub-incarnations as well, but who is the original personality of Godhead, known as Krishna, and who incarnates personally also." End quote. In the Vedas also it is said that the Lord, although one without a second, nevertheless manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like the Vaidurya stone, which changes color yet still remains one. All those multi-forms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by a simple study of the Vedas. Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktau. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companions of the Lord, and whenever the Lord incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. Arjuna is one of these devotees. And in this verse, it is understood that some millions of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna, in a different capacity, was also present. But the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that the Lord remembered the incidents, whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as the mighty hero who could subdue the enemies, he is unable to recall what had happened in his various past births. Therefore, a living entity, however great he may be in the material estimation, can never equal the Supreme Lord. Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in the Brahma Samhita as infallible, achyuta, which means that he never forgets himself even though he is in material contact. Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects, even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord, but by the divine grace, a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord, whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand this transcendental nature. Consequently, these descriptions in the Gita cannot be understood by demonic brains. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not, despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to his change of body, but the Lord remembers because he does not change his Satchit Ananda body. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. Everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from his material body. And because the Lord's body and self are identical, his position is always different from the ordinary living entity, even when he descends to the material platform. The demons cannot adjust themselves to this transcendental nature of the Lord, as the Lord explains in the following verse. If Maharaj, if you'd like to speak at any time, please raise your hand and we'd be very eager to listen. So.
Not right now. Okay, just let us know. So at the beginning of this chapter, this verse, Lord Krishna is answering a question that Arjuna poses. In the previous text, Arjuna says, the sun god Swami is sleeping by birth to you. How I understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him. So understanding that the sun god is much older than Krishna at this point in this pastime, which happened 5,000 years ago. Krishna is how old when the Bhagavad Gita is spoken? But I think it was like 95. 95. Whereas, let's see. The previous verse, chapter 4, text 2. Sorry, first verse of this chapter. Krishna starts saying that he instructed the sciences. Yoga. It's imperative science of yoga. Imperative science of yoga. To the sun that Eva Swami instructed with Mama, Father, and Time, who then in turn instructed it to Shraddha. So Arjuna is in a state of forgetfulness currently. He's asking, how did you instruct the sun god 90 some years ago? The sun god was so much older. But we also hear that Arjuna is one of these devotees, meaning that whenever the Lord descends, whenever he incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. So right now, Arjuna is acting in the capacity of forgiveness for the benefit of the conditioned soul, like myself, who is actually the forgetfulness of Krishna, or who is put into forgetfulness because of his own desire for Krishna. Whereas you could say Arjuna right now is put into forgetfulness due to his desire to serve Krishna. And this is how Krishna enjoys with his eternal sustenance through these incredible pastimes. There's taste that's amplified in not realizing who you're dealing with in the Supreme Personality, in that you're associated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Obviously, we would be a little bit hesitant to do so without, in the capacity of a friend. How can we imagine associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So therefore, he puts us into forgetfulness so that we might be able to enjoy with him in that sweet way, and so that really he can enjoy with us, but there's a kind of reciprocation going back and forth. This ever-increasing bliss is established or to be shared. So let's see. But the difference between the Supreme Lord and the entity, who are both eternal, is that the Supreme Lord never forgets.
Whereas the living entity, due to its change of body, it says that's why the devotee is forgetful. The soul is passing through the body, the bodies are changing as the soul remains the same. And this is proof of the reincarnation that we're going through every second. That my body is not the same as it was when I was a little child, as an adolescent, as a young man. I'll have a new body as well as it progresses into mature age, old age. Ultimately, it's temporary, but the soul is what's eternal, and will pass into a new body of death, be it spiritual or material. But I take that new activities in accordance with whatever body I'm given. So let's see. Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in Brahma Samhita as infallible, achievement, which means that he never forgets himself, even though he is in material contact. Therefore, the Lord of the entity can never be equal in all respects, even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord. But by the divine grace, the devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord, whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand its transcendental nature. This is interesting. This is something I've been kind of studying in my free time. Is that by the divine grace, the devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord. And from how I understand it, is that there's no other way to understand the infallible, transcendental, supreme condition of the Lord. And that's not done through any kind of not like a mundane approach. It can't be done through any kind of scholarship. It doesn't come as a result of bodily beauty, nice heritage. So it's done through our sincere desire to understand who Krishna is and how to serve him and his devotees. And that's when the divine grace blesses the devotee to understand the infallible condition of the Lord. So there's a nice purport that talks about this, where it says, how can we actually perceive the existence of the Lord? And the question might be asked, if I can't say the Lord does exist, and I can perceive him with my senses, then how can I serve him? How do I know I'm pleasing him with my service? So forth. So many questions can be asked like that. And the way Prabhupada handles that topic is that he says, essentially he says, first establish that there's a difference between the seer and the seen. So taking what he says, I would say to close your eyes and feel into, become aware of your bodily functions, of your active sense objects, like your hand or your legs. And understand, upon putting your consciousness there on that part of your body, understand that it's actually different from who you are personally. And that's using that kind of discrimination is done through a subtler kind of sense. It's not done through our five senses, but it's done through our intelligence, which is actually the most subtle sense. So by our intelligence, we can understand that I'm not my body, I'm not my hand. I say my hand, I don't say I am. Right? So there's a difference between the seen and the seer. And beside the seer are all things seen. So there are two separate things. If I come in contact with an object, doesn't mean I'm that object. That means I'm perceiving that object. I'm sensing that. It's being registered through my senses, but the actual observer who's recognizing the existence of that object is separate from the object itself. So Prabhupada says, first understanding. There's a difference between matter and spirit. There's a difference between, like what Mandar said this morning, what I'm perceiving and what's actually true. There's a difference between perception, or rather, perception doesn't always mean truth. Sometimes it does. But sometimes also what we perceive is relative truth. But we're talking about absolute truth. Truth is not subject to change. The truth that is true, was true, and always will be true. This is called absolute truth. This is the only thing that the devotee is truly interested in establishing for himself. So after separating the seer from the seen, understand that as the observer, as the soul is positioned within the body, which is made like a machine out of material energy, the soul is situated within the heart of that being, Ishvara. Where within the heart of that being, or of that body, and where that can observe. Understand that we're actually completely dependent on everything around us. And it's a matter of what our senses come in contact, that there's something that's arranged in a certain way, and that's due through a certain combination of elements. And then that's being processed through our senses, which are in turn themselves either they have a certain kind of capacity, our senses. And some people have a greater capacity in one sense than another sense compared to someone else. For instance, we have 13 senses that taste, smell, touch, hearing, feel. So, taste, touch, smell, hear. And so feel, what they taste.
See.
See, yeah. See, taste, touch, hear, feel, right? Just repeat myself.
See,
you got it.
touch.
Oh no.
Touch is the same as feel.
Yeah, touch is feel. See, taste, touch, hear,
Smell.
It's
We did it.
And then there's also 5 active senses, and that is my hands, my legs, my reproductive organs, my evacuation organs, and my speech. So that's 10. Then there's also mind, intelligence, and false ego. That's 13. So these 13 senses are coming in contact with certain arrangements that are made outside of our power to create. And these senses themselves are outside of our power to create or maintain. Like that. So some people might be able to walk, some people might not be able to walk. So I know someone who can't smell anything. I smell great. I can smell when someone new walks into the building. So we're dependent on everything, on every action that I tell my body to make. It's pending until it's signed off on from a higher power, and it's the demigods or ultimately Krishna. So that's step 2, is to understand what we're talking about. First, it's to understand I'm different from my body, and to understand that in order to function in my body, or really find peace within my body at all, I have to understand that I'm completely dependent on a higher power. And then Prabhupada says one can begin to perceive Paramatma within each and every atom of existence. They can actually begin to perceive the all-pervasive nature of the Supreme Lord and to carry that consciousness with them into every single situation that they enter into. And then, through a service attitude, this is what I found really interesting. Through a service attitude, which attracts the Lord to us, that's when he really reveals himself, as stated in this purport that I have in mind. We can look it up for your start and continue. I just wanted to make that point that by the divine grace of God, we can once understand of the Lord, and by no other way can he achieve such perfection. So Prabhupada says that even common men understand that the Supreme Lord is in every single heart, every single atom. And through the attainment of that kind of conception, is to understand the personal form of the Lord, who remains completely free at all times from his creation. Though he's in contact with material creation, it says in the purport here, he's never actually, he never forgets himself, nor is he never swayed by such energies that are at play. So those would be thoughts. We can go on to the text this time. Translation. Although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental. Purport. The Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of his many, many past births. There is a common man who cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. He would surely have to dredge his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet men often dare claim to be God or Krishna. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. Then again, the Lord explains his property, or his form. Property means nature as well as sarvabhuma, or one's own form. The Lord says that he appears in his own body. He does not change his body, as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body, but migrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body, by his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form, with two hands holding the flute. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body as the Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes his birth like an ordinary living entity. Despite the fact that Krishna grows from birth like an ordinary, despite the fact that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth, astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of the battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren of home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculations. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us. Although he is the oldest person of whole creation, past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Factually, his appearance and disappearance is like the sun's rising, moving before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. When the sun is out of sight, we think that the sun is set. When the sun is before our eyes, we think that the sun is on the horizon. Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position, but owing to our defective, insufficient senses, We calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. And because his appearance and disappearance are completely different from that of an ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal, blissful, knowledge by his internal potency, and he is never contaminated by material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unborn, yet he still appears to take his birth in multi-manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to be taking his birth, he is still without change of body. In the Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayan, four hands and the decorations of 6 kinds of full opulences. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy. According to the Vishvakosha, the Lord is conscious of all of his previous appearances and disappearances, but a common living entity forgets everything about his past life as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on earth. Therefore, the Lord is always the same absolute truth and is without differentiation between his form and self, or between his quality and body. The question may now be raised as to why the Lord appears and disappears in this world. This is explained in the next verse. First, I want to ask if anyone had any comments with the question. From the same thing.
On this one, I was intrigued. I've always been intrigued with these references to the different dictionaries. It's kind of interesting to me. I met some people that like to read dictionaries, and they always have interesting things to say. So it seems that Prabhupada uses these as some sort of a reference. It says his appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy, according to the Vishvakosh dictionary. So it has some knowledge in it. And this is also reminding me of the deity and the holy name, which is, you could say, the primary deity in this age of Kali Yuga. It's just his causeless mercy that he appears before us. And he doesn't have to, but he does, and he just did. He just did twice. And we happen to be here, same time, same universe, same planet. And Prabhupada just came. And Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and so very fortunate. And it's just mercy. It's just causeless mercy. I mean, the word I always like how Prabhupada says that too. Causeless mercy.
Thank you. That's reminder. Yeah, Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, and we're a little bit separated from those pastimes in the length of time. I mean, just in one generation, so much culture would be lost, so much history would be lost, and so much illusion can set in. But not to say that there isn't such a profound amount of consistency in Krishna's pastimes and Vedic knowledge. Everything is there for us to believe in Krishna, in his appearance, his transcendental nature. But I'm making the point that Lord Chaitanya was only 500 years ago, so that's a lot closer to us. And recently it was said to me that if we can just understand that Lord Chaitanya is God, coming in the mood to experience the mood of his devotee, then we'll be okay. We can just kind of get over that. It makes sense when you really think about it. But even if we can't find full faith in Lord Chaitanya, first of all, it just says that a little bit of faith is all that's required. Chaitanya Nityanande, Nahi Esal Vichar, non-lighted, Premadana, Mahe Ashridam. That if one just a little bit of faith takes the chanting of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda's holy names, then they'll be quickly freed from all offenses. It says it's just a little bit of faith. So we don't even need full faith in Lord Chaitanya. But to go even further with the point that I'm making is that, like you said, this Prabhupada was just here 50 years ago. And that we have video of actual evidence. I can see with my own eyes, which I saw one day. And usually it can't be based at all on anything. We shouldn't be basing things on what we can see. Well, I can for sure see Prabhupada is here. And you can listen to his lectures. He's given us so much. And then disciples, and like that so many times over. So really there's no excuse for not having faith in our sincerity. So thank you for your point, for your comment. And yeah, I like also here, I would say that there's no differentiation between the form itself, between his body and the body. So taking into consideration Krishna is the holder of all 6 opulences in complete possession of all 6 opulences. And if we take into consideration that he's not different from his name, then the whole idea that we're wasting our time chanting Krishna, I do not get bored chanting Krishna. I look at them and just chant Krishna all day. I don't think that's such a limited thing, because when we're chanting Krishna's name, we're actually directly associated with the possessor of all opulences. We're experiencing those opulences in full when we chant. He's providing the one who's approaching him sincerely. He's providing him with such high kind of pleasure that completely eradicates all lower kind of desires. So we should not tolerate any kind of nonsense from anyone who thinks that we're wasting our time by chanting the glories of the holy name, because there's actually nothing to do. If one's really looking for peace or really looking for enjoyment, then you should just chant as much as you can. So that's the idea. That's what we're trying to do. Another thing that stood out to me is that the Lord is never contaminated by material nature. So it used the example like the sun. The sun is out of sight. We think that the sun's set, but the sun is before our eyes, so we think the sun's on the horizon. But actually, the sun is always in its fixed position. But only for attractive and insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. To make another analogy, using the sun to substantiate this, to kind of illustrate in a similar way, since it's never contaminated by material nature, similarly, the sun is not contaminated by anything which it purifies. So the Supreme Lord is also kind of like where he removes all impurities from his devotees. but he doesn't ever take them upon himself. When he comes down here, he descends in the human form, or something of that sort. Then he doesn't actually come in contact with material nature. Whereas even Lord Shiva is sometimes influenced by material nature because he comes in contact with it. The Lord actually, Krishna doesn't actually come in contact with material nature. Therefore, he's not ever moved by it. So, does anyone else have any comments, questions? Probably we should just get to the practice of reading as much as I can. Sometimes I try to speak. Never really goes how I would hope, but you know, is what it is. But if anyone would like to say anything, that's true.
I also like this part about the sun. Now, owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. So we just like we say the Uncle Jimmy, disappeared. No, he didn't actually disappear in one sense. His body disappeared and he moved on. Of course, that's the best way we say it, is that he just left from my vision. So similarly, we're calculating the sun has risen and not based on our limited sense perception. So this is actually a folly, as to, like you mentioned, we can't be putting too much faith in our limited senses, and this is a major drawback to the modern civilization, is a little bit too much faith in our own limited sense perception.
Yeah. I'm sure. Okay, well, we can wrap it up there. Sri Mata Ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada.
Jai.
Jai.